Righto, we're back. Just been out and done my morning job. Just wait for a few of you to pop in. Oh, nice to see you, peeps. This is live, by the way. This is not. Oh, do that in Lidl's. Oh, let me jumping in the freezer. I've just had some peanuts. Can you? My missus said to me the other day, it was proper funny. I do get hay fever, and she said to me, she said, I was having a hay fever fit, and she said, let's go up to Aldi's. She said, it'd be fun. I'm like, yeah, it would be fun. I'd love to. You'd be seeing people flying in the old frozen food section. They'd be landing on top of the milk cartons in the fridges. The biscuit aisle would go for a Burton. Be right funny. Anyway, I've just been, to this job, and I've been going there for a few years, and they're lovely people. And I would never have a dig because I love this couple and their family so much. They're lovely people. This is the hysteria of what's been placed into people. So I get there and it's like, right, okay, I had to change a diverter valve and look at a tap that was dripping. And he's gone to me, and I love him dearly. Woolwich boy, lived and grew up in Woolwich, spent a life in the banking industry, made a fortune, literally. And he says, right, Dave, in that bag there, he said, there's a mask and some gloves. I went, what are we doing, a puppet show? He just went, no, take it seriously. I went, righto. He says, you got to put the mask on and put the gloves on. I went, I tell you what, I said, when this is all over, you give me a call and then we'll come back and do it then. He's like, but I need it done. I said, what do you want me to do? In the end, I said, give us your gloves. I put your gloves on. I won't wear the mask. Let me go and have a chat to him. I said, mate, it's not a problem. I'll go. I said, you just let me know when all this hysteria has flown. And we'll crack on. Are you not worried about it? I went, no. He said, why are you not worried? I said, look, there are nothing but fear itself. And if your ending is to die of this so-called corona, pandemic, scamdemic, guess what? That's how you're going to go. If your ending is to be knocked off of a horse and fly into the back of a car, that's how you're going to go. That's just how it is. Let me just share this video out. So I said, I don't care when I come into the world, and I'm certainly not going to care when I leave the world, right? So you make your own minds up. And anyway, we've been and done it. But I'm going to try and find this Lord Sumption thing, and you've got to have a good listen to this. And it put me on edge. I'm like, I started getting the shakes. I'm like, not because of what was being said, but because of the energy. I said, I'm still the same race as you. We're still brothers and sisters. You do know that, don't you? Oh yeah, I know, but I went, no. And in the end, when I finished it and come out, we had a right old chat. He was cutting his edge. I love him. I love him dearly. I mean, I really do love this couple dearly. They're so lovely. They've got a lovely big farmhouse. It's beautiful, but I'm just like, whoa, what the TV and the media has done to the people of our country is disgraceful. I said to him, where did you grow up? He said, I grew up in Woolwich. I said, well, you know, I grew up in Peckham, right? So I grew up in the North Peckham estate. We didn't have nothing. I said, you're all right now because you've got plenty of money. You've got a nice big house. You can ride the storm. I said, but think about if you were still back in Woolwich now, living in a flat with no money. How would you be dealing with this? He said, well, yeah, never. I said, do you know how many people that are killing themselves right now, suiciding themselves, dying of malnutrition because they can't get food or benefits? Do you know what's going on in this country? It's all right for everyone that's got plenty to sit and say, oh, yeah, now we're all right, riding it out, me included. But am I going to forget the people that are living in the flats? No, I'm not. Am I going to forget the kids that are getting abused in this country? No, I'm not. Why? Because my conscience won't let me. My conscience won't let me. And he went, you've got a point. I went, point? I said, imagine being back in Woolwich right now without a brass farthing, not knowing when your next meal's coming from, not allowed to leave your flat. Otherwise, you're going to have the paramilitary coming and arresting you, kicking your back doors in, taking you down the cells, cuffing you up, twisting you up, bending you up. I said, what have we become, mate? And he looked at me and went, yeah, he said. I said, if this was real, I said, you live just round the corner from me. I said, you've lived there a long time, right? He said, yeah, about the same time as you, Dave. He said, just over 10 years. I said, sweet. How many people do you know in the village that have died of it? He said, well, there hasn't been any. I went, right. If you go back to all these other times of Spanish flu, the plague, how many people died then? He said, well, the Spanish flu killed 50 million. I said, it's easy for words just to say these words. They roll off the tongue, 50 million. I said, but think about the logistics of 50 million people dying. He went, oh. I said, there'd be bodies. Your neighbours would have bodies. You'd be hearing people weep all the time, crying, screaming. Oh, Dad, you're dead. Mum, where you gone? You'd hear people wailing down the streets. You'd have the smell of death flying up your driveway. Is any of that going on? Well, no. I said, so let the facts speak and dictate what's going on. He went, do you know what? That's about bang on. I said, and everything in the past that's gone on has always been described and labelled after the fact. The World War. This World War was only called the Great War, and Lord knows how you can have a great war. It says here, voices from the aftermath of the Great War. Someone please tell me what's great about a war. What's great about a bullet ripping your guts open and spewing your guts open and letting all your entrails and a slow death? Can someone tell me what's great about a war? But when that first started and the first bullet was flown and the lads was out there, not knowing what's coming, do you think they all stood around and said to each other, oh, we're in the Great War? Oh, yeah, we're having it today. We're taking part in the Great War, you know. No. History dictates what's great and what's not great, and history dictates how things are recorded. You would need millions and millions of people to be dying of COVID-19, and I mean millions, before it would be called and recorded as a pandemic or an epidemic. Not at the beginning, unless these people have crystal balls. Maybe Boris Johnson's got a crystal ball. I don't know. Maybe crystal ball. I'm not sure. So we will see. I just wanted to come in and let you know what had gone on this morning. It's a bit unnerved me a little bit, but we got through it, as we always do, and we will continue to get through every day. And, you know, he said, have you been carrying on as normal? I went, yeah, well, why not? What's the point in living if you can't be normal and carry on doing what you... Yeah, well, people are dying. I went, well, are they? Show me. People saying the hospitals are busy. Show me. We've got nurses. Look, choreographed nursing, dances. You can't be busy. Let's play Lord Sumption. See what he has to say about the hysteria. And it is purely hysteria.
Things. And South Korea's economy is widely open. Outside of Parliament and within, there is fierce debate about how far and how fast the government should move in releasing the nation from lockdown. Many think the government is moving too quickly, but there is a view that as the virus is far less dangerous to most young people, the whole population lockdown is way too much. And it's a view held by some inside Whitehall and
back your head.
Among the critics has been Jonathan Sumption, Lord Sumption, former Justice of the Supreme Court, and I'm happy to say he joins us now. Very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
I know you've listened to the little bit of the debate we've just played. You've listened to the Prime Minister's speech last night. You probably had a glance at the 50-page document published this afternoon. You've read it. Excellent. I just wonder where you are on where the government is.
Well, I'm exactly where I was before, because the mountain has groaned and put forth a mouse. Hardly anything is being changed. And that seems to me to be the main criticism to be made of the Prime Minister's statement. But there is, I think, an important thing to notice about it, which is that the narrative has changed in quite a significant way. The fact is, a lockdown doesn't reduce deaths. What it does is to push infections and the resulting deaths into the future. And that's because viral diseases are not like a hurricane which just blows over and we can all come out in the sun again. And the government's paper that published today does recognise this. It says the virus is going to be with us for a long time.
Well, actually, you're not quite right there, are you? Far be it from me to argue with a former Supreme Court Justice. You can suppress the virus down to a level and then test, trace and isolate individual cases if you get it to a low enough level, and then you can suppress and go about normal life like South Korea is. And I think that is the objective.
You can only do that if you have either a vaccine or a sufficient degree of collective immunity.
No, but South Korea has neither of those things, and South Korea's economy is widely open, and it's not in that position, is it?
The government itself has recognised that viruses do not go away, and we're going to have to live with this virus for a long time.
South Korea recognises that,
but has find it on page 12 of their statement.
But you get small outbreaks, and you try and suppress them as quickly as you can. You don't have to say everybody's going to get it. And we may well have a vaccine within a couple of years anyway. So you're talking
we can't be locked down for 2 years.
No, but South Korea isn't locked down. I keep coming back to the point. There are countries who've shown how you can do this. If you can temporarily suppress to a level where you can then isolate individual cases, you can go about a relatively normal life for 2 years without a lockdown.
You can certainly do that, or you can do what Sweden is doing, which is not to bother with a lockdown at all, and their results are not significantly different from ours. I mean, the fact is that according to the Office of National Statistics, 91% of the deaths have been of people with serious underlying conditions. 88%.
Can you imagine being locked down for 2 years? Can you imagine how many people that's going to kill? Can you understand what's going on here? The amount of people like single parents and relying on the state? I mean, the question is, what have we become? Not where we're going, but what have we become? We've become this socialistic demon. I was challenging the courts many years ago, and I phoned up Maidstone Law Courts, and this woman that was dealing in this office, because I wouldn't pay this fine, she says, well, everybody has to do it. And I said, everybody? She said, yes, everybody has to. I went, well, thank God I'm not everybody. Thank God I'm me. And thank God I was blessed with a little bit of common sense and a little bit of wisdom. I do thank God for that. I really do. And she didn't know what to say. I said, and as for your fine, I'll send you back the piece of paper that you own, which is the birth certificate with the identification number on it. I'll clearly identify the number which is pertaining to. I said, and you can attach it to that piece of paper, right? I said, because clearly that piece of paper is not me. I said, because I'm a creation of the divine. And she didn't know what to say, and I never heard another thing from them. Strange times, people. Really, really strange times that we find ourselves. But I'm glad to say that there's things happening. What they really are, don't really know. But there are massive things happening right now. There's this big pull between the light and the dark. And I think the light's winning. I do. I have to believe that. I myself have to believe that the light wins. And it has to. And it always will do. 24 hours a day. When the light shines on the darkness, hello, Robin. The darkness has to run. Got a lovely little Robin just sat there. He's up on the fence now. The darkness has to run away. It really does. So I wanted to pop in this morning and share that with you. What's this country descending into? You know, people can't work, people can't go out. You can't cycle down certain paths because they've put barriers up. And there's people out there taking pictures of these. You can't cycle down the path. Well, why are you taking pictures of them? Why don't you just pull them down? This is your world, your country, and your authority comes from here. This is your inheritance. This planet and this world and this country is your inheritance, people. Why are you letting them take your inheritance away? Why are we passively letting this Fourth Reich system take our inheritance away? I said to this guy, so if Boris says tomorrow, it's done, go back out, crack on as normal, would you? He said, yeah. I said, do you honestly think that Boris is in control of this virus? Do you think Boris and his team of idiots are in control of this virus? Do you think if it's real, and I'm not saying people ain't dying, people are dying, but do you think Boris has control of it, or do you think the virus has control of the situation? Do you think the virus will not dictate when it starts and when it stops and when it reemerges, if it does reemerge? There ain't a politician or a man alive that can know when something like that's going to happen, when a plague of locusts is going to turn up, when a great flood's going to come. There isn't a man alive that knows that. There is some country out there today which has sent alarm bells running through me. Looks like a South American country. I'm going to try and find out where it was today and let you all know. But their people have decided to come out on the streets in mass, and they've had their military come out and point their weapons at them. The military have come out and pointed their weapons at them. Woo! Unbelievable. So that's where we are. I'll come back to you later today. Beautiful, beautiful people. And I just want to share that experience this morning because it did rock me a little bit. I'm like, I'm not putting a mask on. I'll come back when you're comfortable with me being a man and living and breathing, and I won't do it. I'm not going to put one on, peeps. That's the end of it. Simple as. Perhaps they take me out the back and shoot me at some point. You don't know. So, people, I will come back to you later. I'm going to have a bit of lunch very shortly, and you'll take care of yourself now. Keep it real and stay fresh. And I'll see you all soon.